I was 54 years old. My name is Marina List. I lived alone on the outskirts of Brno, a quiet Czech city where old houses hide behind apple trees and acacias, and narrow streets seem to remember every step you've ever taken. My life had become careful, measured, predictable. Every morning I opened the shutters, brewed strong coffee, and watched the wind play with laundry on the line. My husband had left 6 years earlier for a much younger fitness instructor. I didn't hate him, I simply became quieter. My life had everything except anticipation. That morning, the air felt thick, like linen before a storm. I had just stepped out of the shower, wrapped in my old blush-pink robe with a lace collar. It was soft, worn thin with time, almost transparent in places. Barefoot on the cool kitchen tiles, I took my first sip of coffee when I heard it. 3 hesitant knocks. I frowned. No one ever came by unannounced. I tightened the belt of my robe and glanced through the narrow side window. A young man stood outside. Tall, lean, dark-haired. I recognized him immediately. Lucas, the son of the new neighbors across the street. They had moved in a few months earlier, originally from southern Italy. "Good morning, Miss List," he said politely, clearly nervous. "I'm sorry to bother you. I locked myself out. My parents are away." He didn't stare, didn't smile awkwardly. His gaze was respectful, steady. "Well," I said with a faint smile, opening the door. "Come in. Just don't look below my chin." He laughed softly and stepped inside. I poured him coffee in my old, chipped mug. It felt strangely important to be hospitable, precisely when I hadn't expected company. "I study architecture in Milan," he said, resting his elbows on the table. "I spend summers here. It's quiet, good for drawing." We talked for a long time. Travel, cities, heat. He had a calm voice and something rare. He wasn't afraid of silence. Then, during one of those pauses, he looked at me. "You're very beautiful, Marina. Not flirtatious, not playful, just true." "You're very young," I replied softly. He shook his head. "You're the first woman I've ever looked at as a person, not someone's mother, not someone invisible." My fingers trembled. Almost without thinking, I placed my hand over his. The touch was brief, uncertain, but he didn't pull away, and neither did I. "I don't know what this is," I whispered, "but it doesn't scare me." He nodded. "I just want to be near you, even for a moment." The next day, I chose my dress more carefully, not for him, for myself. Soft lipstick, a hint of blush. I felt present again. By midday, the heat draped itself over the streets like honey. I was watering roses in my small front garden when I heard footsteps. "Good afternoon." Lucas stood by the gate, holding a modest bouquet, daisies and pale irises. "For you," he said shyly, "just because." Our fingers brushed as I took them. The touch lingered longer than it should have. "Come in," I said quickly. "Would you like some cherry compote?" We sat on the veranda. He watched me barefoot. "You're beautiful like this, unfinished, real." Something inside me hesitated. "I haven't had attention in a long time," I admitted, "and it's unexpected." "I don't want games," he said. "I just want to exist near you." I stood and went inside. When I returned, I wore a strict black dress, high collar, buttoned back, silver brooch at the chest. Reserved, controlled, but I knew how it fit my body, and he knew too. "Tell me," I said, "where do you see yourself in 10 years?" He spoke of buildings that don't collapse, of cities that invite you to wake up, of a woman who might drink coffee with him in the mornings. His hand brushed my knee, accidentally, deliberately. When he left, I leaned my forehead against the gate and stayed there long after he was gone. A week passed. Rain arrived suddenly, relentless. I sat by the window in a soft wool cardigan, underneath a black silk slip I hadn't worn in years. The house smelled of books and cinnamon. He hadn't called, hadn't written. Then a knock. Not him. His mother stood in the doorway. "He left," she said quietly, "a sudden internship in Vienna." He didn't say goodbye," I whispered. "He was afraid," she said. "If he saw you again, he wouldn't leave." She handed me an envelope. Inside, a sketch. A woman standing barefoot by a window, light spilling around her. At the bottom, in careful handwriting, "I will return if you leave the light on." I turned on the lamp that night, and I didn't turn it off. 2 months passed. Then 3 familiar knocks. I opened the door. Lucas stood there, tired, tanned, backpack over his shoulder. He said nothing. I stepped aside and left the door open.